Good morning, good evening. Welcome back to the Crypto Astro Paradise. If you're new here, I do technical analysis and run an astrology birth chart for Render and see if the astrology patterns correlate with the TA. I'll give my Render predictions and what I'm doing at the end of the video, but none of this content is financial or investment advice. This content is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. Okay, let's look at the price chart here. This is what we got going on. And as you can see, we are still holding up pretty strong. We have been creating let me get the right tool. We've been making a higher low, and now another higher low, if that still holds. And let's zoom in here so you can see that more clearly. So I'm gonna zoom. And so, Render is still holding up quite strong. We have seen this major dump here, and I did warn you guys about this back in May, and I'll show you the proof of when I warned you, but that's a 43% correction. Let's take a look at the video where I showed you this prediction, and here we go. I'm gonna make it full screen here. Listen to this. Here's the concerning part. We are getting two quite negative transits. Saturn opposite Venus, the Render Venus, and another Saturn. Saturn, like I said, typically represents limitation, contraction, hard lessons in reality. Could even represent government regulations. So that's not looking pretty. Hold on, and guys. These transits are hitting pretty hard. June 11th through July 17th. And this one is June 12th to July 16th. Wow. Could we be seeing a dump in the summer? It certainly looks like that. If not a dump, sideways action. We could even be seeing world events here, guys, because I'm seeing a lot of negative transits for this summer in June and July for multiple cryptocurrency charts. Sometimes this goes beyond crypto, guys. Sometimes this could even represent world events. When we're seeing so many different charts that are showing negative transits with Saturn this summer, could have to do with governmental regulations, world events, even bank collapses, things of that nature. Literally in March of 2023, I believe it was March 10th or 11th, we had the Silicon Valley bank collapse. And that was when Bitcoin had Saturn conjunct the Bitcoin Venus. So pretty similar themes here. So could we get more bank collapses this summer? World events, conflicts, governmental regulations. That could bring a dump to the Render chart and potentially other crypto charts, potentially even the macro charts when we're seeing this many astrology patterns align this summer. Now, if you guys... All right, so there you have it. I warned you guys. That was all the way back in May. I made that video on a beautiful little island I was on off the coast of Bali. And so... what did we get ever since I made that video? We got that 43% dump right here. And we are holding up still decently well on the Render chart. So this is the weekly. If we look at, let me take a look at, well, let's go to the 2-month. And this is what I talked about on the previous video is, let me zoom in here a little bit. Go up here. There we go. And as you can see, this gravestone doji back in March to April, I believe. Yeah, March, April. We went all the way up to the all-time high, and then we fell all the way back down to this level. And this is potentially a really critical level. It's around 7.32 for the Render chart. And so I marked that with this gravestone doji line. And so take note of that. Then if we look at the monthly chart, you know, in April, we hit that same level. May, we went up. June, we went down, but we closed June above the gravestone doji level. So this month, July, if we want to keep in a bullish, very bullish position, we want to hold that level. We want to close above 7.32, that gravestone doji level. And it's also very close to the 50% level from the peak to the low. And the 50% is at around 7, almost exactly 7. So right now we are hanging around that level at 7.11. So as you can see, you know, we're still making higher low and higher low. Let's see if we can hold this low right here. If we look at the daily, you know, this low is still higher than this previous low back in April. So, and we're continuing to stair step upwards slightly. And if we look at this blue trend line, let me move this over. We are still holding that level. So we want to continue to stay above really where we're at right now, 7.10. We want to continue to hold that level. We could dip below it, but we want to rebound as quickly as possible to hold this trend line, and that will continue to be a bullish position. So that's looking pretty good. If you see these yellow boxes here, these are what I spoke about in my previous render video. You can look on my channel. Every time we got negative astrology, we got downward action. So we had negative astrology here, negative astrology here. Each time we started dumping, negative astrology here, we started dumping. Even right here, we were going up, but then we dumped hard on that negative astrology. And then we're getting the negative astrology right now as well, ever since, basically, ever since we've headed into June, July, and we're having negative astrology in that area. And look at that, we've gotten those dumps just as I predicted. It's pretty incredible, guys. I'm getting about 90% accuracy with my astrology prediction, so definitely subscribe. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so that we can boost this channel to more people. Definitely need to get these videos out to more people, and the only way to do that is for there to be more interactions, more subscribes, more likes on the video, more comments. So definitely support me with that. All right, I'm putting these videos out for free, so I really appreciate all the support. All right, and it's not too much to ask for to interact with the video. All right, the dollar, the DXY, I've been covering this like every video. We just dipped below the 50% level, but it rebounded very quickly. So that's still a little bearish for crypto. We would want to see this continue to head downwards. If we want crypto to pump, this would need to continue to go downwards like that. So far we haven't seen that, but sure possible. If this is a bounce, if we just start to heading up here again, then that would be bad for crypto. All right, so I'm continuing to keep my eye on the DXY moving forward. Here's something really interesting, and you guys are liking these. You told me in the comments you like these. So here's Render versus Bitcoin, Render versus Bitcoin chart. And let me make this a little bit. Okay. So as you can see historically, we have, this is Render versus Bitcoin. So we have been stair stepping upwards. We're still, this level right here is still a higher low compared to back in April. So this is still looking bullish. So as long as we continue to stair step upwards, this is looking good still. You know, it could even be like this. That would still be a very bullish setup. That's looking good. Now, really interesting. Let's look at a Render versus one of the other top altcoins, Solana. I even want to zoom out a bit more. Take a look at this. This is Render just versus Solana, two of the top altcoins, arguably. Two of the strongest ones. And as you can see, we're creating this nice wedge formation. I can't say if this is bullish or bearish, honestly, because we kind of have to wait and see. Are we going to get a bounce off this level, head back up here, you know, and are we going to get rejected and bounce down like that? Or are we going to bounce around and shoot right through. It could really go either way, especially since both of these altcoins are so strong. This will be very, very interesting to see the showdown. Maybe I should make a video. The showdown between Render and Solana. This is it right here, guys. I mean, honestly, overall, this is looking pretty strong for Render versus Solana. I mean, overall, it got a huge breakout in May of this year. That's very interesting that it outperformed Solana so much. It looks like it ran before Solana, but then Solana, ever since May, Solana started to take over the show. Oh, this is okay. And then of course in October, yeah, this run was before Solana went off on its run. So Solana really started to take off around September, October, then Solana really took off. But then Render kind of caught up a bit from in January to February of this year. And then it's just been volatility between the two. So this is a really kind of impressive showdown between Render versus Solana. Overall, we're still getting higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low for Render. So it's actually looking very strong for Render. Now, let's look at the opposite, Solana versus Render. And this is kind of a funky chart, right? I mean, Solana, ever since October of last year, Render really took off. Solana is starting to gain a little bit of ground, but I mean, this is still, this is not looking super impressive. If you just look at this chart, it's barely creating higher lows. It just kind of looks like sideways action. So, I mean, could Render be outperforming Solana? So far, it kind of looks like it just based on the charts. So I thought that was very, very interesting. Render versus our XRP. I mean, obviously Render is just killing XRP. So I thought that was interesting to look at. What do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comments below. And as I mentioned, please subscribe. We got some comments. Let me zoom out here, man. This zoom is kind of funky. There we go. All right, so we have some of these past comments. Thank you, Jack. You did a good job. Best crypto astrology advice. Thank you very much. You nailed it for June month's predictions. Yeah, as I talked about in my previous videos, I warned you guys in May. Thanks for this video. This is an excellent one. Really appreciate your work. All right, so those are some of the comments. So definitely subscribe. You guys want to see more epic videos like this. Now for the astrology, it's very interesting. Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting. So this is the Render birth chart. All right, this is based on the Genesis block of Render, RNDR, the token. If we look at, let me actually go back to June just to refresh you guys on what's going on in June. This is what I was showing in that video that I made in May, with these two very bearish transits, both involving Saturn. Saturn just went retrograde on the 29th a few days ago. So it went forward, it hit a direct, it went exactly opposite Mars, and it went exactly opposite Venus on the Render birth chart. And now and then it retrogrades, and it's going to hit it again. It's going to go opposite Mars on the Render chart again, and then opposite the Render Venus. All right, so it's going to hit it twice. This doesn't happen all the time. So this is particularly bearish, and we're already seeing that major dump on the Render chart, but it's still holding up because Render is such a strong coin, at least so far this year and last year. So we do have a lot of caution around July 16th, July 17th. And the very interesting thing is we also get a very negative astrology transit based on where the planets are in the sky, not even involving Render at all, on July 15th. And I can talk a bit more about that. That is when, let me refresh my memory here. But I would have to relook at that. But we're getting a very negative transit involving Mars on the 15th. So I wonder if that is going, I mean, it's within days of where the Saturn is hitting on this chart as well, July 16th and 17th. So I thought that was really interesting. So there is definitely a potential for another dump. It's not guaranteed, especially if Render continues to hold up. And it could hold up because we're also getting these very positive transits with Jupiter. Jupiter trining the Render Mercury, very positive on July 9th. Could get a pump around then. Jupiter sextile the Render Moon. That's a little bit bullish, July 14th. But we also get another negative, Jupiter square the Render Neptune on the 19th. So we could definitely get a dump around July 16th, July 17th, July 19th, anywhere in there. But then we get this bullish Jupiter trining the Render Sun, and that's potentially very bullish because the Sun can be a very bullish aspect, especially when it gets a positive aspect to it with Jupiter on the Render chart. So could it be a stronger finish towards the end of this month? But like I was saying, we're not out of the woods yet with these two major negative transits here. All right, that is dampening the Render price chart. Now, as I mentioned, let me see if I can look at this real quick. I was mentioning we do get a negative astrology hit, and this is it right here. We get, wow, Uranus. This is just where the planets, this is literally where Uranus will be in the sky on July 15th. This is where Mars is in the sky as well, or in our galaxy. And then it's hitting conjunct the star Algol. I told you guys about this in my July 2024 Bitcoin astrology update. Take a look at that a few videos back on my channel. This is a very negative transit here. It brings sudden, unexpected surprises, major world events with Mars. Mars is a malefic planet. It can bring more WAR. This could be very explosive. There could be explosions, you know. So not looking good, guys, because it's conjunct the star Algol, which is basically a pretty negative star that has historically, well, I mean, it says connected to bringing the subconscious to light, unleashes great passions, but it was also known as a demonic star, so not so great. It also has to do with people losing their heads, whether metaphorically or literally. So not the greatest energy there. We really gotta watch out for this one, guys. This is July 15th. We could see explosive world events around this time. And so let's definitely pray for the best, because human collective consciousness, if more people that pray for positive outcomes, the more positive it will be. And this has been actually proven by experiments where people did mass meditations, and the crime rates went down during those times that thousands of people were meditating and focusing on positive outcomes to happen. So this is real, guys. I truly believe. All right, let me know in the comments if you meditate or you believe in that our thoughts shape our reality, and that we can change the world. We can create positive outcomes, especially if we all come together and have a positive intent. Okay, now back to some crypto here, even though I definitely love talking about those topics as well. So predictions. I don't have a crystal ball, but wow, Render is starting to correct right now. It could continue to go. It definitely could go down to these levels at 6.72. It could go down to even 6.63. But we would like to see a bounce today, if possible, because we want to hold this trend line here. And we can even, yeah, I mean, we definitely want to see a bounce today, if possible. If we head lower, I mean, we could even head down to 6.35 around there, maybe even to 6, but we want to see a bounce come off of that as quickly as possible. So, I mean, if it is just a wick down and we head back up, like, that's okay. But we will see, guys. We're not out of the woods yet. Either we're going to see a dump or we're going to see continued sideways action. That's what I'm seeing, especially with the astrology. So continued volatility in July. It certainly looks like that. I bought some. I'm not giving financial advice, but that's what I'm doing. I'm dollar cost averaging. All right, I'm putting a little bit in. I put a little bit in today. So I might continue that over the coming month. That's just what I'm doing. You do what you feel is best for you. As always, investing in crypto is risky. If you haven't already, definitely check out my Crypto Astro Mastermind. I'll be coming out with a new group call, a live private call with my private curated group of experienced investors and traders. And we're going to be diving deep into the crypto astrology, much deeper than we do on this channel. I can also answer your specific questions that you have for me on those live calls. So definitely check out the page. You can click the button below, sign up. It's one payment still. Soon I'm going to be changing it to monthly payments, but you can get in with lifetime access with just one payment. All right. You would get full access to me for the entirety of this bull run. I don't know how you could have a much better investment. I guarantee you, almost guaranteed. I mean, I'm very confident that I can help you make your money back. So no worries on that front. All right. So thanks so much for tuning in. Definitely stay tuned for more videos on Render, Solana, possibly XRP, Ethereum. I'm going to be coming out with an Ethereum video very soon. Also Tesla, NVIDIA. I'm getting so many suggestions of videos that people want me to do for cryptos, for stocks. All I need is the Genesis block, day and time and location, as well as for stocks, when that stock was listed. And then I can look at the astrology. All right, we got some comments in here. Can we take a look at Jasmine? I've never heard of that one. Can we look at Caspa? All right, well, I can look at Caspa if you get me the Genesis block, day and time and location. Okay. The XRP Jupiter conjunction didn't do anything. Yeah, I mean, XRP, historically, the astrology does not affect XRP very much, unfortunately. All right, XRP, honestly, I know it's, some of you guys don't want to hear this, but XRP tends to just follow the rest of the market, honestly. And when we get major altcoin run, blow off top is when XRP goes crazy. We have not seen that yet, clearly. Me and my family loves you, Jack. Thank you so much for your knowledge. Oh, really appreciate that. Thank you, my friend. Thanks for tuning in. Much love to you. Right back at you and your family. Sending a prayer for all y'all. Thank you for doing Render. I talked about Solana a lot. I'm a psychic and I do predictions. Astrology is amazing, awesome work, my friend. Thank you so much. And maybe we should check out your channel if you are making videos as well. Okay, you're also on TikTok. Patrick, glad you caught this. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, brother. Hello from Germany. Absolutely, I gotta visit Germany someday. What are the best books on financial astrology? Check it out. Just search on Amazon. There's a couple good ones. Render, you've never heard of this. Well, you're hearing about it now. Susie, thanks for tuning in. Glad to have you here. Yeah, Mars-Uranus algo is scary. That's not looking great for middle of July. That's coming up, guys. Less than 2 weeks. Could see some world events here, guys. Okay. You think summer's going to be red? It's possible. Global meditations are fabulous. Absolutely. All right, guys. So let's focus our intent on the most positive outcomes for ourselves, our loved ones, our community, and the greater world. All right, guys. In fact, I'm going to do a quick little global meditation. This is one thing I've wanted to do more in general. So if you guys could join me on focusing on the most positive outcomes for this summer, probably going to see more sideways action, volatility. But if there are world events on the world stage, we are visualizing, we are intending, we are seeing the most positive outcomes where people see the oneness in one another and let go of the separation and the conflicts and the illusion of conflicts that keep us stuck in lower vibrational energies of separation of us versus them. Let's step more into seeing one another as beautiful expressions of the divine. We are all mirrors to one another. We are all God particles observing one another and once again returning to the original source that we came from. In time, in the illusion of time. Time isn't necessarily real, but it feels real in this plane. Yet as we continue to come from the love vibration of understanding, of connection, of oneness, compassion, empathy, we naturally come to understand each other and come to understand our differences so that we can find that place of connection once again and let go of past karmas. There's a lot of old negative karmas that are being sorted out on the world stage right now, especially in the Middle East. Maybe sort out those old karmas, maybe repay those karmas as a human collective, and learn to forgive ourselves and forgive the others. And may we all find that place of oneness once again. All right, so... And may we all prosper, and may we all find that place of peace. All right, thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. I haven't done this on the channel before. I haven't done a meditation like that, but let me know what you guys think. I would love to do more of those. I was thinking about creating a second channel where I can do more meditations, more channelings, more intuitive messages for the human collective. I could also do some messages about crypto or some channelings about crypto. Let me know if you guys would be interested in that. Type it in the comments below. Thanks so much for tuning in. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.